Okay, welcome to this video then on results day preparation, which of course is coming up in the UK over the next couple of weeks for A-level and then for GCSE. Lots of tips and advice on my website, mrcrawfordenglish.com, and you can visit my Insta page as well, Mr Crawford ENG, where there's more tips and advice on there too. The purpose of this video is how to prepare for results day, how to cope on the day itself, and then what to do next, whatever is inside the envelope. Results day then, not all of us are lucky enough to know exactly what it is we want to do as a career when we pick up those results on results day. It's why we do so many GCSEs, so that we get a broad understanding of lots of different subject areas that might then influence what we want to continue to study or explore at college or sixth form or at university, or then ultimately as a career. When I picked up my results, when I rocked up on the day, I knew I wanted to be a radio presenter, which I did fortunately get to do for a short while. It wasn't as a result of my GCSE results though, it was more about determination and dedication and persistence in trying to get there, and eventually someone just said, yes, we'll give you a job. I gave leaflets out for a while and worked my way up. Just a quick example of how actually your GCSE results aren't necessarily going to determine whether you can or can't do something. Obviously, if you do know what you want to do, perhaps you want to be a vet or a lawyer or a doctor or something, then please make sure you have researched the entry requirements in order to be able to do those things. If you want to be a doctor, hopefully you've looked into the sorts of GCSE grades that you need to get to college, the college results that you'll need to get to university in order to get to that job. That's really, really important. You'll then be able to work out which subjects on results day are the ones that you really need to focus on and hope for really good grades in. Not all of the GCSEs that you study are going to be influential in going forward to college or sixth form. Some of the subjects will be more important to you than others. English and maths tend to be important to everybody because lots of colleges and sixth forms require grade 4s or grade 5s in order to go to that college. For example, if you're studying some subjects that you have no intention of studying again, it's really not worth getting stressed about the results that you get in those subjects because you're not going to use them, you're not going to carry them forward. Just have in mind before results day the subjects that really are important to you and the ones that you can take or leave, so that you've got a really clear picture of where you're going to go from results day. It's high pressure for everyone, teachers, students, parents, everybody, but it's not the end of the world. You might just have to alter your path. It doesn't mean you can't achieve things. It just might mean that you need to rethink your plan. Teachers then would have spent the last couple of years telling you that failure is never an option, that you get one shot at this and you've got to make it count. And then all of a sudden at this time of year, people are telling you that it's just a piece of paper and it doesn't really matter. A little bit like what I'm doing now, which goes against everything I've told my year 11s for the last 2 years. However, the reality is that grades are important if they're essential to your next step. For example, I knew that I had a backup plan. I wanted to be a teacher if I couldn't be a radio presenter. I was going to be a primary school teacher, and I'd looked into the fact that I needed grade C's or above in English, maths and science. That was my requirement. So what I got in art didn't really matter. What I got in food tech and in history didn't really matter. I just needed to make sure I got those 3 subjects. I didn't get my C in science. I missed out on that by quite a few marks. And it meant that I just needed to rethink my career path. I ended up being a secondary teacher instead because I knew that I didn't need science. What I could have done is resit science. I could have done that. I chose not to. And that's up to us as individuals, isn't it? So please don't think if you don't get the grade that you really wanted that it is the end of the world. There's always something you can do. So my big advice is to have a plan for results day. Number 1, what time do you need to be there? How are you going to get there? What time have you got to get up? What are you going to have for breakfast? Make sure you've thought through the day itself before it arrives, because that way you're going to take away some of the stress and anxiety and have a nice, clear, focused morning ahead of picking up that envelope. Number 2, consider all of the eventualities. Consider what might happen if you do get the grades that you wanted, if you get grades that are higher than you needed, if you don't get the grades that you wanted. Have a plan. Think about what the process might be from that point onwards when you get that envelope of results. What are the steps that you might need to take? And hopefully we'll go through some of those in this video. Get plenty of rest, number 3. And number 4, don't go alone. It's important to have someone's shoulder to cry on or someone to pat you on the back and tell you how proud they are. It's not advisable to go on your own. Make sure you've got a friend or someone from your family with you. Some things to take with you then, a pen and a piece of paper would be useful. Definitely take the phone number of the college or sixth forms or universities or the UCAS clearing number with you, so that if you don't get those results, you can give them a ring and explain the situation and not have to stress about it on the bus home. You can give give them a ring there and then and talk through your options. Take some tissues, take your phones so that you can take a results day selfie, and a friend or family member is advisable too. If you don't get the results you want, then remember that disappointment is temporary and there's always a way forward. Number one, if you don't get those results, speak to the teachers. There'll be lots of teachers in school on that day. They can provide you with the help and advice and help you to plan the next steps. We're not all going to get the results that we want. There will be people that will be unhappy. There'll be people that are over the moon. We can't all get the top grades, but please do speak to your teachers, because they'll be able to talk you through some steps and help you really think about what you might do going forward. It's not the end of the world. Number two, remarks are an option. A lot of schools will automatically ask for certain papers to be remarked, particularly if your result is a couple of marks away from a certain grade. If that's not the case, you can ask your teachers there and then on results day, can you ask for my paper to be remarked? There might be a fee for that, and it might not even change your grade, but if it makes you feel better and you're close to that grade and you really want to just see if it will go up a little bit, you can put in for a remark. Just talk to your exams officer or your teacher on the day. Number three, phone the college or sixth form or university clearing number or the UCAS advice line and explain your situation. It might be that they still accept you onto the course, but it might be that they may ask you to resit a certain subject, particularly if it's English or maths. They might ask you to resit it alongside your studies of the course that you've opted to do, but they might still take you. Also, perhaps go and speak to them in person might be an option too. Number four, you can resit your subject. If you didn't get the grade you wanted, there is always an option to resit. The first round of resits will be in November, and you can organise that through your college or sixth form that you're going to go to. You can also resit as a student at the school you originally did your GCSEs at as an independent candidate. Again, speak to your exams officer or speak to the college or sixth form that you eventually go to about resitting those subjects. You can also, number five, consider a new route. It might be that you don't want to resit, you've changed your mind. Perhaps you can come up with a new route of how to get to the career or whatever it is you want to do. Apprenticeships or traineeships are always an option. Traineeships are designed to help you to develop the skills that you need in order to access the apprenticeship. You can do those for all sorts of companies. There's loads online, and in fact there's a link in my website to the apprenticeship website where you can have a little look through those. You might also look at online courses as well, so it's not the end of the world. There's always routes around or through, even if the original plan doesn't go ahead. Lots of numbers you can call for advice. Childline are really good, 0800 1111. You can ring them. They're really good at talking through and counselling you on your upset about results if that's important to you. If there's no one else you can talk to, give them a ring. Plenty of advice available from them. And if you've just got your A-level results and are unsure about university, you can ring the UCAS advice line in the UK, which is 0800 100 900. They can talk you through your options. Maybe though, on the other hand, you did better than you expected, in which case, huge congratulations. If you got what you wanted or what you needed, massively, massively well done. You may be able to upgrade your choice of college or sixth form now, of course. It might be that when you were looking at colleges and sixth forms that some of them wanted particularly high grades, like 9s or 8s or 7s, and you really didn't think you were going to get those, so you discounted that college or university. But maybe you did get those grades. Maybe you can now upgrade your choice of university or college. It's worth giving them a ring, explaining your situation, sharing your good news. Maybe you can change your option and go to a different sixth form or college to do a different course because your results turned out different to how you expected them to do. You've got nothing to lose. Always remember that you are awesome. Remember that you've hopefully given it everything you had in those exams, and no one can ask you to do more than your best. You'll go on to do amazing things no matter what is in that envelope. It's not going to hold you back. It might be that you just need to rethink some options. Remember, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's definitely not the end. Good luck for results day. Lots of tips and advice on my website, mrcrawfordenglish.com, or on Insta, Mr. Crawford ENG. You'll be amazing. Laters.